Hello, everybody. We are actually going to wait 10 seconds. So I'm going to count with me. Yay. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you're live or in replay. I'm grateful for the time you've taken to make me part of your moment, part of your time, and part of your day. I am excited. This is our third part series. Well, this is our third part to our 5-week series that we're doing to help people move through the fear, through the chaos, through the doubt during this time with the virus. But please know that even though the conversation is going to include a lot of the virus and a lot of things to do specifically with that, these tools and things that we're talking about are things that you can apply anywhere. You can apply to anything that might be unfolding for you that is also causing fear, doubt, and stress. And remembering, one of the things that they were sharing with me, and not in any way am I going to point fingers because we all do this on some level and in some way. But when I was meditating and getting ready, one of the things that they audibly said was the need for an adjustment. And I'm going to leave you guys right there as I take a moment once again to look over here on the side, make sure we're all good to go. And if you, oh, hello, there we go. Hi. Thank you for saying hi for those who are saying hello. If you are joining live, even if you're on replay, take a moment to say hello. Let me know where you're joining me from. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so that you can go ahead and join us for any other further conversations that we have, not just with this topic, but many different topics. I know I am going to be sharing guidance on, I got to go back to that. I'm going to be sharing a lot of guidance with how to help us overall. And I know we're going to have conversations on how to connect with loved ones, which we are hoping to have it all ready to go here for this week for those who would like to connect with loved ones. And I'm not just talking about like loved ones here in your home, but loved ones that are miles away and also loved ones that are no longer here. So we are going to have a conversation with that. And I'm really excited just because I know I've had a lot of people reach out and say, well, if I'm not able to hold someone and if I'm not able to connect with them physically, what are other ways that we can engage? Yes, we have technology, but there's a lot of other ways that we can connect with people that are in the energetic field. So we are going to talk about that in another conversation. And we're also going to talk, and that's why I swallowed when I was about to talk about this, but they also said that we're going to talk about love itself and union with people in relationships, which is interesting. Because that's a surprise to me, as it might be to you, because I haven't received that guidance before that we're going to be talking about it here in the next few weeks. But apparently it's something we'll definitely be putting up as a video to help you, whether it is that you're experiencing a new budding love romance connection, or if you're craving to connect with someone, or you're healing from a breakup. So apparently that is something that they're saying we are going to also be offering guidance in as well. All right. So again, make sure you do say hello. I see several of you did say hi. Thank you so much. And as you keep joining, feel free to comment and know that I will try my best to be present here with you. So I won't be answering you at the moment, but I will make sure to go back and say hello. So as we begin, let's go ahead and just take in a deep breath. Let's go ahead and take in a breath together. And then releasing and letting go. And another deep breath. And then release and let go. And as I said earlier, thank you for being here with me today. Today's conversation is going to be about untangling, unbinding, letting go of fear. And right now, with what we're going through as a collective, it's very easy for us to identify this specific thing is causing fear. But as I started saying in the beginning of our conversation, is that unfortunately, our society, the way that we have been brought up, most of us, this is not all of us, I get it. A lot of people, we've been encouraged to focus and give attention a lot to that which we need to fear. So what happens is that we feel that by giving energy to that which we are afraid of, giving energy to that which we are scared of, giving energy to that which we fear, we are on some level protecting ourselves, preparing ourselves, or keeping ourselves out of harm. But there is this belief, among many individuals, and something that I resonate with personally is the idea that the more we dwell in our fear, the more we feed our fear, the more we, thank you, allow ourselves to rest in fear. When I say rest, because many people find themselves going to bed holding on to fears, which interrupts their sleep. It interrupts their ability, their body's ability to heal, restore, and wake up feeling refreshed. Some people call it stress. Some people don't want to say fear is a too intimidating word to admit. I don't have fears, I just have stress. So, whether it's stress, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, it all falls under the same umbrella. So, as we're talking today, I also want to encourage you to identify what were you fearing before this virus? And it sounds like a silly question, but it's an important one because I want all of us to really understand that this is an opportunity for self empowerment. It's an opportunity for self growth. Everything is. Everything in life that shows up in our path that is pushing us, that is pretty much allowing us to step out of our routine, out of our comfort zone, is offering us also the gift of expansion. So there are some of you that, and that falls under me as well, that may have had a behavioral pattern in which you worried about things. You let things bring up fear for you. It became like, thank you, it became a normal conversation, they're saying. It became a normal dialogue for yourself in your mind and also dialogue with others. So as we're moving forward, as we're moving into this conversation tonight, I'm going to invite you to come to me as much as I'm coming to you from a place of surrender. I want us to have this conversation in a way that helps you to say yes in whichever way honors you, if you want to, of course. Say yes to being able to be in a state, be in a moment, be in an arrival in which fear is no longer your. They're showing, thank you. They're showing me a blanket, a security blanket, right? Where fear, doubt, insecurity, anxiety, stress is not a security blanket that you use every day, or when you go to bed, or when you're trying to move forward, or when you're leaving the house, or when you're sending your kids off. Identifying that on some level, we've been taught that fear, if we hold on to it and use it and wrap ourselves in it, it keeps us safe. But I want to encourage you that as we're moving in our conversation right now, that you surrender any ideas, if possible, thoughts or expectations that fear is helping you in some way. Now, I know there's many different times I've talked about everything has a flip side to it, but just for the moment, let's just move forward with that intention. That in whichever way honors you, and you can say this after me, I intend to open up myself, my mind, my heart to receive that which is love, to receive that which is truth, to receive that which can be offered that can help me break free from the chains of fear, from the weight of doubt, and from those things that bind me, that are being fueled by doubt and insecurities. I choose to be free. I choose to be here. I choose to be loved. And anything and everything that is keeping me from this delicious arrival, I set it aside and I welcome the peace. I welcome the peace. I welcome the peace. And then let's all take in a deep breath and release when you're ready. All right. So as we move forward with that intention, as best as we can embrace it, and we move forward with that decision and that thank you, that focus. Let's just know that we are being led and guided on a soul level by our angels, by our loved ones, by our guides, by our higher self, whatever it is you feel guided to call it, God, source, creator, universe, whatever you feel guided to call it. That whatever brought you here into this conversation is not just going to lead you through the conversation and pull you through, it's also going to lead you past it. It's going to support you past those decisions. It's going to support you into what's next. It's going to support you into a place of peace and clarity so that you yourself can feel what we are claiming right now, right? Which is to be untangled from fear, to be untangled from the weight, the sadness, the chaos. So in meditation today, as we move forward, I was shown Mother Mary. And I was shown the presence, the masters of that energy, of the mother essence, the light of love, the light of full compassion, unconditional love. And I saw Mother Mary. And as I was typing it, I audibly also heard the word seven sisters. And authentically and in my own state of innocence, I'm not able to identify all the seven sisters, but I recognize that it could be how I need to present it to you because in some way and on some level, it's going to be received the way it's needed by me using those words. What does that mean? Our language is limited. So sometimes when I'm guiding and I'm sharing guidance and I'm hearing audible guidance and seeing visions, I hear specific words to help trigger what is necessary in the moment. So Mother Mary, it made me think of Kuan Yin. It made me think of Tara for those who resonate with that. But again, Seven Sisters was the name given, but it felt like a union of mothers coming together. And I'm very blessed that in my family, I have really amazing, wonderful, strong women. So that's a good way for me to describe it. It makes me think of all my aunts, my mom, my grandma, all of them coming together and like, giving a big squeeze to all the cousins, all the brothers and sisters, and all the family. And that's what it made me think of. That in this moment, your presence, me, all of us collectively are being embraced right now by a beautiful, unconditional force of love that is calling itself Seven Sisters. But it represents that unconditional love that only can be experienced by a mother, by that which represents maternal love. And I'm talking maternal, like again, Mother Mary, that love of the divine, of source creator, in a way that it's given in a feminine form in which you can just be held and feel accepted, feel supported, feel seen, feel loved just as you are, perfectly as you are. So as we continue, I want as best as you can to be present to that. I want you to feel that. And even if you don't consciously notice it, know that it's part of what's being offered and shared with you right now. You're being held in that embrace. And what they were saying with that is that that kind of love and embrace breaks anyone free from fear. Thank you. That kind of love breaks anyone free from fear. And interesting enough, the biggest thing that I've seen people have hiccups with is the ability of allowing ourselves to receive the love that is being offered to us. You know, and I know that all of us have had our own unique experiences of the reasons why we can't let go and let love in, reasons why it's not safe to be loved, reason why we can't trust that which represents superior or above, people that are above us, elders, whatever you might call it, that are offering us love. But I'm not talking about the human aspect of love. I'm not talking about the idea of what mother should be in regards to like, oh, this is how a mother should show up in this physical world. But I'm talking about maternal divine love, ever present, unconditional, and fully offering itself to you. So as we talk about this, I want you to also let yourself decide that you are ready, open, and available to receive the love. Because that's the biggest thing people in the equation, let's say. It's like love gets given, love gets offered, but we don't allow ourselves to receive in flow, to receive in its essence what it can lead us into. So as we're talking about untangling from the fear, it requires you to allow yourself to receive the love that's already here, that's being offered to you right now. And ooh, and they're moving energy out. So I'm going to talk about this a little. For those who are hearing me for the first time, when I burp or you see me go, it's usually because there's energy moving out. Um, okay, thank you. Restlessness. So they're saying that there's several people here who have been, whether before the virus, during the virus, or even just right now, all of it, they're feeling very restless. So apparently there's several people who are on the live or on the replay that are feeling restless. So, and on some level, I recognize with the way things are unfolding, it's like a blanket, right? Right now with our collective, where a lot of people are feeling the restlessness. Thank you. So they're asking everybody right now, it's already happening, but even as you go tonight, go to sleep tonight, wherever you're at. I know I had some people who said they joined from Dubai, so time's a little different. So whenever you decide to rest, I want you to imagine that you are laying in a bed of unconditional love. Imagine that you are letting yourself receive. And they're showing me a vision of someone just standing and like free falling into love. In whichever way honors you, let yourself go to rest in that place in which you are free falling into unconditional love. And I know some of you are saying, well, how do I do that? Well, how is that done? Well, sometimes your mind tries to complicate things, tries to analyze what's this, what's that. I mean, should I be breathing this way? Should I be laying this way? Should I be wearing this? Should I not be wearing this? But it's not that complicated. All I want you to do in your mind, like you did as a child, I want you to play with the thought and the idea that you're free falling, that you're free falling into, thank you, into a blanket of light, a blanket of love, a blanket of unconditional acceptance where you're at. Whether you're feeling restless, whether you're feeling sad, or you're feeling happy and excited, whatever it might be, that you are allowing yourself to, thank you, fall into that which is pure and its highest. That energy, that love, that light is going to help support you into a night's rest. That's going to help you wake up free from the fear. And maybe you'll smell it here and there. They just showed me a vision of somebody smelling it. Like, wait, hold on, I smell fear. Like it might be crossing your path or something might happen that might instigate it or trigger it. But I want you to just go ahead and just take a deep breath and just say, oh, wait, I remember that last night I surrendered and I let myself fall into that energy, right? And into that free fall of unconditional love. So we are going to be talking about more things as we continue our conversation tonight. And one of them is also understanding that as you continue to free fall into this love, you also are boosting your immune system. You're also boosting your mindset. You're boosting, thank you, your resourcefulness to find the way out of this. Whether it is because you're struggling with money, whether it is because you're struggling with health, whether it's because you're struggling being alone or depressed, whatever it might be, you are going to be supported. Thank you. And moving forward, you tap into the resourcefulness that is going to lead you past this hump. They're calling it a hump. Thank you. Because in so many ways, this is just a collective hump. We're not going to be stuck in this hump. There is going to be a drop. There is going to be a fall. There's going to be a way out of this. And I know that right now it seems endless, right? Even my daughter, she said, oh, May, it's like school is not going to open till May. And she's like, oh my gosh, seeing my friends and our boyfriend and so on and so forth. It's like we forget that this hump is going to go, it's going to pass. This is going to pass. And the best thing we can do is to celebrate that, again, everything is transitory. Everything changes. Things do pass. They come and go. And yes, as I said in the last call and in the last conversation, life is never going to be the same. It's going to be very different moving forward, but we are going to get past the hump. Another thing we're going to talk about very briefly, because we're going to do this more on the conversation about connecting with loved ones, is that I want to encourage people to play the game of connection. And I'm going to talk a little bit about telepathy, like how to connect with people telepathically and have fun with that, and how to even feel people's energy, even if they're not in the room with you or in the house with you, and how to feel people's energy, right? Just playing the game. You know, one of the things when my daughter was younger, we used to play this game where we would hide stuff around the house. And then sometimes I would even connect with her at school, and then we would check in to see what we were thought about, what thoughts we sent to each other. And again, this was when she was a lot younger, but it's like little games that we played to help us understand that we were connected, that we were one, that we were engaging past this physical realm. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but again, we'll go into more of that conversation during our Connecting with Loved Ones call. So as we move forward, one of the things that they also said, thank you. They said add it. They want me to add this now. I heard the ocean. Oh, our camera's off, so those can hear me. So continue to listen as we keep talking here. I audibly heard the ocean, and they called it the ocean's blue. So I want to encourage you, as last week I gave you guys a meditation, right? With the bubble, the green bubble, and the symbol. I gave everybody that meditation. If you did not listen to the last call, please know it's available on our Superhuman YouTube channel or even superhuman.com, and you can come and register and you can get the replays. But we talked about connecting to this symbol and also connecting to the light, sorry, they're correcting me. I apologize. The green light to help your immune system, to help your mindset, to help boost you up, right? So if something was to cross your path, you're able to move through it with more grace and ease. And then the week before, we talked about the bubble of light, right? To keep yourselves protected from any viruses, people sick, or any infection or anything that can come your way. So today, this week, meditation is going to be connecting with what they said, ocean's blue. So because we've been connecting with a bubble of light, I want to encourage each of you to have a meditation in which you are being held in a blue orb, a blue sphere, a blue ball, a blue circle, whichever resonates most with your mind right now. And you're going to meditate and take a deep breath and feel yourself in this blue, okay, thank you, in this blue energy. And they audibly said it's a way to help you rise above the calamity. It's a way to help you rise above the calamity. When I see Archangel Michael and I see him in blue, he is letting me know he's helping someone with clarity, with certainty, with confidence. So the energy this week is to help you tap into confidence, tap into the energy that is going to help you feel more clear. That's going to help you awaken and feel la la la. I don't want me to say it like that. Okay, thank you. It's going to be an energy that's going to help you be more engaged with that which is light, which is unconditional love, that's going to help you feel stronger and more courageous with what's unfolding. Thank you. More confident through it all. So as you meditate, you are going to, again, like I explained on the first week, but we're going to do it again today. I want you to take deep breaths. And what you're going to do is that you're going to connect to the heavens, to the spheres of light, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to bring that light down. So you're going to breathe in, and then you're going to go ahead. And as you exhale, you're going to see like a beautiful pillar of light going down in your body, hitting all the way to the floor. And then you breathe in again. It's going to go back up to the heavens. And when you exhale, it's going to go back down to your feet. And then when you inhale again, like an umbrella upside down, you're going to see this umbrella open up around you and hold you in light, in a bubble, like a bubble. And this time you're going to connect into this bubble as a blue energy. So this week, that is your homework, assignment, inspiration, ta-da, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to hold yourself in that light. And because they said ocean blue, is for you to connect to the energy, to the idea that it looks ocean blue. But also something to further engage your senses is that you can play the sound of the ocean during the meditation. You could listen to the ocean. And what they were sharing is that the ocean itself has so much memory of how things come and go, and that there's always this organic flow. Everything is in harmony. Even when things seem off with the ocean, it goes crazy, the storms, whatever it might be, there is this essence of harmony within the ocean. And they were saying that the sound of the ocean was going to help senses. And they were showing me something with the brain. It was going to help by binary. They're talking a little bit here more of scientific, technical binary. They're showing me the binary, there being a connection between the left and the right brain, and the sound. Okay, thank you. The sound of the ocean is going to help the binary. And I apologize, I can't consciously explain what that fully means, but you can maybe look it up, because usually when they say stuff like that, you can find information on this. But it's going to go ahead and help the binary, which is going to help quiet the mind. It's going to help relax the mind. It's going to allow the mind to receive the light and the guidance that's being offered in the peace, which is really the intention, is to help you feel peace and clarity, grace and ease through all of this. Okay, so that's what's being encouraged. And they called it the harmony of the sea. And they said that by doing that, it was also going to allow us energetically to really connect to the collective union, the collective thriving, the collective ease, even if it seems like collectively we're feeling more chaos, more confusion than ever. And the energy moved out. So, what they mean by that, that even though there's chaos and confusion and uncertainty with the collective, there's also part of us, as much as there is a part of the collective, that is really vibrating at a different place, at a higher place. And in that higher place and in that higher state, there is this peace and freedom. And by doing this meditation and connecting with the harmony of the sea, you're going to pull yourself. It's going to help your brain by they're saying that again, the brain thing. It's going to help you move into a space in which you can receive the perception, the experience, that interconnection, thank you, with that which is love, and allows that to be in a thriving force and a thriving energy in which there is harmony and there's love. So, with that, they also said it was a way to help us join the rise. And this is what's interesting. With everything that happens, we can find people who are rising and we can find people who are falling. And I know this, the media, even social media is showing us a lot of people are falling. But the reality is there's a lot of people who are rising through this. There's a lot of people who are thriving through this. And this is not just emotionally, mentally. This is abundantly, with money, with health, with success in all areas. So I want you to understand that, yes, maybe whatever it is for you, maybe you're the one who's feeling the success and the clarity and the money and the flow, but there are people who aren't feeling that either, right? So there is a yin and a yang to everything. We talked about this last week. So briefly, just connecting with that, there's a yin and yang to everything. And even just what's happening right now, it's bringing us back into balance as a collective. But the yin and the yang, there are people who are in the rise and there's people who are in the lows right now. So, how about together we choose and decide and collectively join that group that is in the rise? So, they were saying that the meditation of the blue orb and the sound of the ocean, and I'm audibly hearing it really loud for those who can hear energy, it's a way to bring you into union and into connection, which with that which again allows us to be in the thriving flow. So I know it may not make sense, and it's funny because I heard a guy talk about this, and for the moment I'm forgetting his name, and I apologize, but he talked about in the beginning of his book. He says the the universe is not made to make sense. And he talked about that a lot of times we're trying to figure out so many things in the universe and figure out how things work or don't work. And yes, there's scientific methods and things that can help us connect to certain understandings. But even in the scientific method, there is limitation. So, what I'm sharing with you is that what I can share with you is from my own limited perspective, in which I just surrender and I invite the divine to speak and be of service to you, to myself, to my loved ones, and to my family. So, as I share this with you, I want you to embrace and be willing to resonate with whatever resonates, and that which doesn't, just set it aside. But just to explore, like I said in the beginning of the conversation, let yourself explore what else can happen, what else can unfold, what else you can be led into if you just try some of these exercises that we're talking about. And from my experience, I'm doing this program with a group of people, and one of the questions they ask, which I've heard it many times and I love reminding myself of this, is that if I can travel back in time and I can speak to my 20-year-old self, if I can go back and just sit her down and be like, hey girl, I got something to tell you about life, about the future, about what to do, what not to do. What is the one thing that I would make sure that I communicated to my younger self? And that, to me, for me, my personal journey, it would be trust every token of wisdom that comes your way and follow it. And from that experience and from what I've seen, what happens when I follow my guidance, when I say my guidance, and I know that's limited to say it like that, The guidance that comes from the beings, the light, the divine, the source, the angels. When I follow that guidance, the results that I see, the results that are part of my life, my moments, and even the people that I coach with, the people I do sessions with, my loved ones, the results people have are mind blowing. And I see results give way to things that our mind could have not conceived. So, the reason I say that, and I'm adding this to the conversation, is that these exercises that I'm giving may not fully make sense. And in your mind, it might be like, oh, I've never heard of that. Maybe you have. But the exercises that I'm sharing directly to you right now are things that are being given as a way to help most of you. Because realistically, it's about whether you decide you want to receive it or embrace it or even be open to it. But with confidence, I know that if you guys can explore this meditation, the ocean blue, what they call it, the blue energy, the blue orb, and you can take time to listen to the sea, the energy, the sounds of the sea, of the ocean, it's going to be helping. And they keep saying the word binary with the brain. And they're telling me it's going to be a way to help balance both hemispheres, you're audibly telling me. It's a way to balance the hemispheres in your brain right now in a way that it can support you into feeling more peace and more clarity. So, as you join me through these exercises, we are also agreeing and embracing the yes about rising together. All right. Joining those that are wanting to rise through this time, which realistically all of us want to rise. But the irony is that we may have behaviors that sabotage our ability to rise. So this exercise is a way to bypass any sabotaging expectations or behaviors that might be in the way. This is a token and a gift that I'm sharing with you, and it's as much as it's being given to me to help rise in a way that can keep you away from the limitations that have been part of your past or even part of your today. So let's go ahead and take in a deep breath, and then I'm going to just share a little more. Feels good. I'm also going to drink water. Hold on. That was for 1 second. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk about the fun part, the connecting with loved ones. And I say fun part, all of it is fun, but I know that some of you have been sending me emails, and we've talked about the idea of connecting with people beyond the physical. Because what right now, even though they're calling it social distancing, the reality, we're physically distancing, because socially we're still connecting. We're able to use our phones, we're able to use our technology, our computer, our social media. So we are not social distancing, we are physically distancing, right? We're having to keep, 6 feet apart from each other. So as we are given this gift, it's a great opportunity for you to explore energetically what else is possible with another. So, first step to this, I want to encourage you to find somebody, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's a partner, whoever it may be, even on Facebook. I don't know, find someone on Facebook, but just allow yourself to. And I wish I had and this is part of what we're working on. We're about to be launching a platform of superhumans to help superhumans connect with each other, thrive together, create together, and also find tools to awaken things within the self. So when that happens, we'll definitely encourage more of this play. But I want to, first step is for you to find someone to play the game with. And the game is that you are going to let yourself play with the energetic exercises that help you connect and experience someone beyond the physical. So, once you find somebody you feel comfortable with, I want you to explore ways that you can follow up with each other to see what's working and what's not working. The first thing you're going to do is that you're going to play a telepathic game. So, how do you play the telepathic game? And they're showing me, I'm asking them because there's many different games. I've played this with my daughter, played it with friends. For this one specifically, thank you. For this group specifically, they're showing me a paper. So this is Tommy here, and this is Anne. So Tommy, this person here, is going to go ahead and on a piece of paper, write a word or write a phrase or maybe draw something that has a focused intention and attention on a topic or something. Thank you. They're saying a color. They're audibly telling me to encourage everybody to have a color. So, for example, Tommy here wants to have a circle, a blue circle. Let's start simple. So, he has a blue circle and he's going to he's going to draw the circle in his mind. He's going to see the circle. He's going to color it, enjoy having this art time and really just connecting with the idea of a circle. thinking of the circle, holding the circle in the heart, in the mind, in the thoughts, right? And then what they're going to do is that they're going to go ahead and connect with Anne. And they're going to say, okay, Anne, I've already put on the paper what it is you need to connect to. So Anne is going to take the day. You guys got to give him at least 24 hours just to play with it. And Anne is going to go ahead and connect to what's on the paper. Okay. And I say 24 hours. This is just for the beginning. Don't worry. It's not going to be 24 hours every time. This is just for the game of the beginning stages of it. So Anne is then going to go ahead and connect with what that is. And what happens, Anne has to check in with Tommy to see if what Anne is seeing is in any way connected to what Tommy is seeing. Now, I've done this with coaching and I've done it with people and they've done it with me and I'm connecting with them and they're connecting with me. So, this is what I want people to notice and pay attention. Anne might be connecting with Tommy, but Anne might be getting other hits from Tommy that are not just what's on the paper. So, Tommy, whoever it is on your end, needs to be very authentic. And if Anne is saying, I don't know, I'm seeing a red shirt or I'm seeing strawberries or I'm tasting something sweet. It could be that Anne is connecting with Tommy telepathically with what Tommy is doing in his day. But this is a way to get the process started. And then reverse, right? And then Anne does the same thing, puts it on a piece of paper, puts another symbol, puts another color, and then Anne sends it over to Tommy. And the same thing happens. And it's about letting yourselves really, really show up and share. Be authentic. Be authentic. When I've done this with coaching with people, sometimes at first it's like, I'm not sure. And I've had it many times where my clients are connecting to what I'm eating in my day, even though it's not what's on the paper. But I honor that. And I said, well, you didn't connect what's on the paper, but you did connect to what I was eating for lunch. And I want you to just be very supportive. What does that mean? If Anne reaches out to Tommy and Tommy is not resonating with anything Anne is saying, Tommy needs to be supported and say, thank you so much for trying, Anne, but I'm not able to identify what it is you're seeing, feeling, hearing, or connecting to. So go ahead and I'm going to, in this moment, take time to see it in my mind again, the symbol in my mind, maybe hold the paper in the heart or in the mind, and I want you to go ahead and try it once again. So just that loving and encouragement along the way. Another thing, if you don't have someone, thank you, they just gave me a vision. So if you don't have someone you feel comfortable doing this exercise with, you are going to go and grab a little bowl for yourself, and you're going to go ahead and put a lot of symbols inside the bowl. All right, you're going to mix them up, mix them up, mix them up. You're going to go ahead and take deep breaths. You're going to hold one of the papers out that you can't see. Thank you. Let me correct this. You're going to fold the papers really good so you can't see what's inside the paper. You're going to put it in the bowl. You're going to mix the bowl, and then you're going to take out the paper. Do not look at the paper. You're just going to hold the paper. You're going to put it in your heart or in your mind, and you're going to connect to see what's in the paper. Do this at least 5 to 6 times, or tell me 7 times. So do this 5 to 7 times, meaning you're going to look at the paper. You're going to set that paper aside, and that's going to be your paper for the day. And throughout the day, at least 7 times you're audibly telling me, connect to what's on the paper. Connect, because it might be that right now at this moment you might see a blue circle. It might be that 2 hours from now you guys see a circle, but it looks kind of green now. What the heck, right? It changed a little bit. And it might be that later, a few hours later, you might see exactly again the same color you saw initially. But you are going to just feel into it. And then at the end of the day, you're going to open it up and see what hits you got about the paper and just check in. If you don't get it accurate the first time, it's okay. This is a new gift. It's a new energetic pattern that you're moving in your body and in your mind. It's a new energetic strategy into perceiving that which goes beyond the physical realm in front of you that you can see, beyond your senses. So you are working not just your senses to be highly in tuned, you're also working your inner senses, the energy within you that can sense vibration, that can sense the force within things, right? They sound here like Star Wars. You can sense the force within something so that your mind can receive the message. Because the reality is that you are going to connect. You're going to intuitively connect to it. It's whether or not your mind can perceive it. So by practicing this with someone or just on your own, it's going to start training your mind to be in tune, fine-tune, they're audibly telling me, to fine-tune to the vibration and the guidance, not just of inanimate objects on your paper, but also with other people. Okay, so this is something I want to encourage you to explore. Now, for me personally, I'm going to just give you, they're telling me to explain a little bit of my experience and how you can work on your own intuition. And yes, we're going to go deeper into this in my platform that we're going to be launching, but also it's part of what I want, it's part of what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate in helping people see how free they can be when they awaken fully into their intuitive gifts. So I'm sharing this not just because it's been a personal experience, but because I get to see it with so many people and I see the kind of results they get for their lives. So this next thing that I'm sharing with you is that my own personal journey, my intuitive gifts started when I was very young. Now, when my daughter with disabilities was born, I felt very shut off. I felt like I wasn't hearing things. I felt like I wasn't seeing things. I was very overwhelmed that I wasn't getting what I felt I needed so I can help her with her medical emergencies. And that was the beginning of it. My desire to be more present to her needs put me in a quest, in a very, very delicious quest, because it's part of what has brought me here today. It's part of what has opened me up to be able to receive guidance very easily all the time. So, as we talk about this and as I share this with you, this exercise that just gave you with telepathy, this could be the beginning breakthrough for you. This could be that deciding moment that is going to help open you up more with your own intuitive gifts so that you can receive guidance a lot easier, so that you can understand how you're being guided, supported, and inspired to move forward. So, for me, when all this happened with my daughter, I began to dive deeper into how can I wake this up? How can I open up? How can I get guidance now? Not a week from now, not hours from now, like right now. I want to get to a place where I can ask for guidance and boom, here it is. Visions, audible guidance, whatever is needed comes here right now. So that was my quest. That was my decision. That's what was driving me to move forward. So as I say this, this is how I started. I started with my hearing because my hearing of guidance was very clear to me. My seeing as well was very clear to me, but my hearing was one of my biggest ways of connecting to guidance. Now, I say this because there are some of you who are in this call, live and on replay, who you already know you're intuitive. What is the main way that you receive guidance? You know, some of you and a lot of people in our society, not everybody, but there's a lot of people who just get a knowing. They don't know how the heck it happens. They just know. They know this person is going to call. They know they should trust this person. They know they shouldn't trust this person. They know they should take action here, that they shouldn't take action there. They just know things. That is also a way of intuitive hits. For some of you, you actually like hear stuff and it might sound like your thoughts, or it might sound like a different voice, or it might sound like your voice just a little different. Some of you, you feel it. It's like you get chills, like you get really warm and you're like, this feels really good. This feels good. This is it. This is it. Right. And then others of you get really cold and you're like, I need to stay away from that. You know, some of you get it physically or chills. Like, you know, a lot of people say the confirmation chills, right? And some of you may even get it in your dreams. You might get intuitive hits in your dreams. And then there's some of you as well, and they're audibly, this is what started the whole conversation because I smelled something. Um, some of you may actually be, they're showing me taste buds, like you might taste something or you might smell something. I will say where I am at with my own awareness, pretty much I see, hear, feel, know. I taste sometimes things. I'll smell stuff. I remember one time in my retreat, one of my girls poured sugar into her drink. And as soon as she poured it into her drink, I can taste it in my mouth. But that's what's unfolded for me. And the reason I'm saying this is because that is not my most heightened ability to receive guidance through. But for some of you, you know, like my mom, for example, when people aren't feeling well and they're sick or they're about to transition or their health is poor and they're not going to be around for long, she could smell it. You know, so for some of you, some of your intuitive gifts and awareness may not be as obvious as what most people talk about. But my invitation to you tonight or today, wherever you're listening to this, is that I want you to start paying attention. Because the reality is that this conversation has opened up your awareness, your ability to say yes even more to your angels, to your guides, your loved ones, your intuitive hits, your higher self, God, divine source, whatever you want to call it, universe. You've opened up, if you want to, of course. Like I said in the beginning, you have to be willing to say yes to receive. So if you're willing to be received, if you're willing to receive, you can open up into noticing how these intuitive hits come for you. The exercise I just gave you, right? It's more about the mind, right? Where you get hits. You might get knowings. You might actually hear it in your ear. You might hear the shape. So they're audibly, thank you. They're audibly telling me, like Tommy, right? Like I said earlier, Tommy drew something on a piece of paper. Tommy is to also use all the ways of sharing guidance. Let me rewind here because they're adding instructions here, and I apologize. So they're adding instructions. So going back to our conversation about the exercise about telepathy, you're going to go ahead and Tommy, he's going to draw it, seeing it as mind. He's going to say it audibly. He's going to imagine he's tasting the shape he drew. He's going to imagine he's touching it. He's going to imagine he's thinking about it. He's going to imagine he's playing with it. It's like he's going to let himself connect to all the senses and all the realms possible so that Anne, I almost forgot her name, Anne over here can go ahead and be able to receive all the hits that are possible about the shape that's on the piece of paper. Okay. The same thing if you're doing it on your own and you're holding the piece of paper, play with it. Like, how would this taste if it tasted like something? And it might be that you taste the strawberry because that's the color, it's red. And it might be that you smell a specific flower that you know the color to because it's connected to the color of what's inside your paper. Right? So just engage with everything that can show up. The reason I'm saying this is because I focus in my own development and in my own training. You know, it's funny because when I was diving deep into opening up my gifts, I am not going to get too much into it, but they would take me, I can share briefly. Every day I would go out into the park and they would heighten all my senses, meaning like all my senses. Like they would teach me how to heighten my senses so that I can help others do the same. And they would tell me that I was in training, which sounds funny to say, but they'd say to me that I was in training so that I can awaken more of myself, but also train others to do the same. So, what I'm sharing with you here, these are actual things that I know work, not just because I've done it with myself, but I've done it with other people. But specifically to this group right now, at this time, and in this conversation, they're letting me know that this is a tool that's going to help several of you awaken even more your intuitive and your telepathic ability with other people, with yourself, with energies as a whole. Now, that being said, some of you are what we have labeled. I'm going to say we. I don't like using the word, I'll be honest with you, but are labeled empaths. Some of you are very highly in tuned already, and that's exciting. But what happens is that even highly in tuned people sometimes are way too scattered. I've been there. Believe me, I've been there. I've been reminded by friends and family and loved ones, you need to ground. So some of you already know what that means. You need to ground, right? So some of us are so scattered sometimes, and I've been guilty of that myself, are so scattered up here that we're not able to ground enough into this physical to take action, to unplug, to let go, to vibe. High vibe, they're saying high vibe in a place where other people's energy, stuff, or yucks or emotions are weighing you down, right? So this is also an exercise that if you're already aware that you're an empath or in tune and connected, this is a way to better fine tune your focus so that you can ground more with yourself, feel more into your own essence and where you want to focus your attention in a way that you're not so scattered and receiving things from all over the place. Okay, so this tool and this exercise has many different reasons and intentions with it. Okay, so that's one exercise. I'm going to ask if there's another exercise that I can give you guys before we end our conversation today, since I know we're getting past that time. Let me ask if there's anything else. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So they are sharing, they're inviting, and I know a lot of you are already doing this, right? A lot of you are already doing this. So I might be speaking to the choir here. So if I am, this is a reminder. They're saying speak to your lights. Now, I personally call it our circle of lights because circle of lights, it's very inclusive. For some of you, that might include loved ones that are no longer here. My dad, who transitioned last year, and my sister, who transitioned last year, and my best friend, who transitioned last year, they're part of my circles of life. And I hear them, I feel them. Even for my birthday here this month, I heard my dad singing happy birthday to me that morning, and I felt an embrace. And believe me, there was a lot of tears, but I still heard and felt him. And when I'm saying these circles of light is that I don't want you to limit it to be one thing or another. That could be loved ones who are trying to share love with you. That could be your circle of light, could be your angels. That could be archangels if you feel more comfortable with that. That can be God. That can be source, universe. All right, I'm still here. So just listen to me. That could also be the Holy Spirit. That could be that could be your higher self if you want to go ahead and connect to your higher self. That could be um, and they're audibly showing me, I don't know what that means. So one second. Got it. Thank you. That could even be someone you look up to, right? That is maybe someone you've never met. And I know the guy who Think and Grow Rich used to have masterminds with really well-known minds that are no longer here, and he would connect with their energies and spirits. So seems a little out there, but that works for some people. But what they're saying is that they're wanting you to engage more with your circles of light. What does that mean? Ask for help. Ask for help. If you're feeling overwhelmed, God, angel, source, creator, universe, whatever you want, Holy Spirit, loved ones, whatever it might be, help. Ask for help. I've been reminded of this a lot of times. Sometimes I get very caught up in the human experience and I'm trying to get it all done, with my kids, with my business, with my own alignment, with my meditations, with my creations, with my coaching, with my sessions. Like I'm busy, right? Sometimes I get busy and I audibly hear them tell me and remind me, ask for help. Ask for help. It seems so simple, right? We forget, ask for help. So as we're moving through all of this, let's say some people have a label as calamity, as we're moving through this time, ask for help. Ask for help with resources, with money, with people, with ideas, with toilet paper, with peace, with being able to sleep. Ask for help. And then the second step of that, let yourself receive it. Commit to receive it. Even say it out loud. I'm willing, open, and available to receive that help. I'm needing help and I'm open, ready, available to receive that help right now. I'm going like this because, like I like to imagine that I'm talking to God and the angels up above. So being open and available to receive the help. So ask, receive, and then lastly is allow. Allow, can be played out in many different ways, but the important about allowing, and this is the one thing I'm going to go ahead and just end with, is that I want to encourage you to, if you get a hit, you get an inspiration, you get something shown to you, get a thought, follow through on it. Take action. Take action, take action, take action. This is why we ask for help. We receive it. We open up, we receive it, and then we let it go. A lot of times that happens. I do that. So as you open up to these things we're talking about, if you ask for help, you receive, you allow, and you are given the help, act on it. And it might be that you get inspired to call somebody and you call them, they're like, oh yeah, I have 10 extra rolls of toilet paper I'll send to you. Or it might be that they say, hey, I figured this out. I've been taking this and I feel amazing. Why don't you give it a try? It could be that the person that comes to mind is the gift that's going to give you a solution you've been asking for. It might be that the person you get inspired has an opportunity in which you can get money. So let yourself, again, do those 3 steps. Ask, open up to receive, and once it's received, act on it. Whew. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, we're going to go again live next week, and we're going to go even deeper and play even further into how to feel more peace and clarity through this time. And if you are wanting to connect further to the inspiration, please feel free to visit the replay of this call and also the last 2 replays that have taken place. They are on the Awakened Superhuman YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if not, also go to superhuman.com and you can go ahead and just Put your information and you will be receiving all the updates about any lives, impromptu lives that I do to share guidance that I'm shown, or even just for these conversations so that you can stay up to date and make sure you can connect to them. Um, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for your light. Thank you for it because, oh, thank you. I just audibly heard. So before I have you guys leave me, they are also saying, congratulate yourself for choosing light. Congratulate yourself for choosing peace. Congratulate yourself for opening up even to this conversation to find a way to feel peace. Because the reality is, when we're going through things, it's very easy to give up. A lot of people find it very easy to give up, but you didn't. You're here. We're here together. We're exploring ways to move forward in peace. We're exploring ways to move forward more connected, more fueled with light and love and possibility. So congratulations to that, because that's half the battle. Choosing to see what's possible, choosing to see love, choosing to see light through anything and everything that shows up. So congratulations to that. And I hope and trust that you will continue to choose that. And I will do my best to commit to do that as well. So thank you again for joining me. Replay again will be available. It'll be the same link that you are in right now. And I would love, if you feel inspired to share with loved ones, please let them know and have them connect to the blessings that were part of this conversation. Thank you so much. I see many people were commenting. Thank you. I did see someone put binary waves. So thank you for that, Lori, for giving us that clarification. Apparently there is something called binary waves. And what they were saying is that the exercise was going to help move those things into balance. Thank you all. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Much love. And let yourselves receive the love that's already being offered to you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Have a wonderful evening and day. Bye-bye.